Hello, everyone. I have an amazing guest for you today. We're going to have a great show. I've got Dr. William Attaway on with us. Dr. William owns a company called Catalytic Leadership, and we actually met through a coaching group that I'm a part of with Alex Slinsky on his Prospecting on Demand. Got to know Dr. William, and he is such a special individual. I just had to have him on the show so you all could experience his excellence for yourself. Dr. William, good to have you here.
Dar, thanks so much for having me. It's just an honor to be here, truly.
Well, see what I mean? He's just like right out of the bat. He's great. So, would you mind just kind of give people a little background about yourself, a sense of what comes with Dr. William Attaway?
Absolutely, Dar. So I've been coaching leaders now for over 25 years. First in the corporate world, then in the nonprofit, in the local church world, and for the last 5 years in the entrepreneurial space. What I've learned coaching leaders for so long is that there are certain threads or themes that run through so many leaders' journeys. Leaders want to make a difference. They want to make an impact. They want to be what I call catalytic leaders, right? They want to seriously accelerate the impact that they're making. But so often they don't know how. They're really good at providing a product or a service, but then as they have to hire people to help them with fulfillment, well, that means those people are now looking to them to lead. And leadership's a different skill. And I've watched too many entrepreneurs break their own businesses. I've watched too many founders flounder as they're trying to build something that will last.
Yeah.
But they don't have the skills and they hit a wall. They hit a lid. And what I do is I come alongside them and I help them to develop the leadership skills that they need in order to build the next chapter that they know is possible.
I love it. Well, I know that you've been really instrumental with so many people in Alex's group, with me as well. And so, I can attest to the businesses. Well, I can attest to the owners that kill their own business. I've been one of those in the past. And,
Me too,
I've had,
yeah.
and the help that a leader needs. Oftentimes the leader has no one to turn to because the buck stops with them, right? When you're lower level, mid-level management, you've got a boss, you've got someone to check in, people to bounce things off of.
Yeah.
When you're the leader, it can be lonely sometimes. And who do you turn to? And so,
It can. And so often I watch people who will either turn to their spouse and try to kind of dump all that on them when they're not equipped to handle that. And they didn't sign up for that, by the way, to carry all that workload, right? Or they try to treat their direct reports, their team, as peers, which is not healthy organizationally. I think every leader needs somebody that they can talk to, a thinking partner, a strategy partner, if you will, who will come alongside and help them think through what it is they're struggling with, who's going to ask them questions that maybe nobody else in their world is going to ask them and help them see what they can't see. See, we've all got blind spots. I've got blind spots. This is why I have multiple coaches that I talk to who help me see what I can't see. The truth is, none of us can see the whole picture when we're in the frame. That's why we need an outside perspective.
That's true. That is absolutely true. And, I find that whether it's me being led by someone or me leading someone, because, we're always behind someone, but ahead of someone.
That's right.
And I find that the leadership style that works best for me, but I think this might be universal, is the leader that's, I shouldn't say the leader, the coach that's direct with the leader, right? That's not going to kiss up to them, right? That's going to tell them what they need to hear in order for them to grow. I know that that's maybe not always the thing that I want to hear, but the thing that I need to hear, so I do want to hear it because I want to improve.
That kind of gut level honesty is absolutely critical.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've just got somebody who's going to, blow smoke at you, I guess if that's what you want, that's fine, but you don't want to engage me, I promise, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you what I see. And sometimes that's great, and I'm going to encourage you. And sometimes it's going to be things, hey, I think you may not be aware of this, but this is something you need to be aware of. Yeah. I'm in your corner. As your coach, I'm for you. And what I want to do is help you to grow so that you can thrive.
Yeah.
And the only way any of us ever grow is when we change. Growth only happens on the other side of change.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, Man, so I could just listen to you talk all day. So I have to, but I'm going to do a little segue here. So it's interesting. Obviously this channel is called Prolific GHL, and the goal of this channel is to not only educate people on how other entrepreneurs are using GHL, but just education and so forth around GHL. But you and I have come at it in a little bit of different way. The way we're connected and the way you're using GHL. We've met through Alex Slinsky. Many of the agencies in his coaching group use HighLevel, and of course, I use it as well. And of course, you are an integral part to Alex's offering of coaching people, right? And but you're fairly new to GHL, right? I think you're just getting started. And so I'm curious to know from someone who's getting started, but also a established, successful business owner and coach, how are you planning to use HighLevel in your business?
That's such a great question, Dar. I've been working as part of Alex's team for the last year and a half as a contract mindset coach for him to work with the agency owners that he serves. And as part of that, I get to hear so many of the struggles and the challenges and the things that they're dealing with, but also their wins, which is something that I focus a lot on. It's so easy to figure out what's going wrong. Anybody can do that.
Yeah.
But I want to help you figure out what's going right and train your brain to focus there. And as I've talked with so many of the folks in Alex's group, I kept hearing them talk about this CRM called GHL, HighLevel. What is this? And I would ask questions, at different times, trying to learn more about it. And at some of the live events that Alex has hosted for his clients, I was privileged to be there, and at this last one a few weeks ago to speak, and got to meet and talk with some of the folks from GHL.
Yeah.
And I really dove deep with them and said, hey, this is what I do. This is how I do it. Is this a solution that could work for me? And we talked through the details, and they said, absolutely, we think this would be a great fit for you. So I'm actually in the process right now of migrating all of my systems into GHL. And boy, just a couple weeks in, I'm overwhelmed in a positive way.
Yeah.
This is going to be a game changer for me, because what this does is it allows me, instead of having so many different SaaS platforms that I have been using for calendar booking, for CRM management, for hosting courses, for funnels and landing pages, all this, the website, all of this is now going to be under one roof.
Yeah.
So I'm no longer sending clients or prospects bouncing around into different ecosystems, hoping that the integrations work like they're supposed to every time.
Right.
But instead, everything's going to be under one roof. So I can automate and clearly see where the strengths are and where I need to focus when it comes to helping people get the help that they need to do what it is that they're doing.
Absolutely. And from someone who's used HighLevel for the last 2.5, 3 years and served a few hundred clients and, thought we were pretty good. If you're open to always getting better, you'll get better. HighLevel as an operating system, they're constantly releasing new features, different things to help the agency owners. But it's interesting, as an agency, you kind of get into your rhythm. This is something that we did at Cairo Dominance. We kind of got into our rhythm and hit a stride, and we're doing good and serving customers well. And frankly, we didn't lose very many customers. But something happened. I won't really get into it here, but something happened in a sort of an unethical way from an outsider to our business, which caused a lot of heartache. And at the same time that was happening, we were also nurturing a new relationship with another outside partner. And so the bad thing taught us some silver lining lessons. And with the new strategic partner coming on, we had a really unique intersection of bad happening, good happening, and then just like inside of our heads, how can we use this to be better than ever before?
Yes.
And even though we thought we were pretty good before, in hindsight, oh man, well, it's hard to say. I mean, because we served several hundred clients the way we were doing it, but what we've rebuilt in terms of a full system of cohesiveness I'm just amazed at all the things you can do with HighLevel. And we were underutilizing it and still doing a really good job. But yeah, the stuff we're doing now, it's amazing. So anyway, I'm happy to share those with you when we're not on air.
I would love that. I think there's no such thing as a wasted experience.
Right.
And if we walk into every situation, every conversation, every relationship with a teachable spirit, what we find is that we can learn so much from anybody.
Yeah.
And when we walk into even an experience like I had a couple weeks ago, going to speak and to share with a number of different people, but I walked in teachable and I learned about, hey, this is a solution that could really help in this other part of my business. And I'm already seeing how fantastic that's going to be with HighLevel and what that's going to mean. And the relationship you and I have in learning from you and you sharing so freely with what you've learned from it, that's going to help me to build what I'm building. It's just a win-win. And I've seen that so often in this community already with HighLevel.
That's true. It's, I'd say overall, it's a community of givers. I mean, you're going to have your percentage of takers, but it's pretty special. I mean, obviously, I don't know all 40,000 people in the HighLevel community, but, in Alex's group, in Matt's group, my business partner, Matt DeCino, and just so other groups that I'm involved with, generally people are really helpful. And I like that. It's nice to get up and go to work. And I say go to work. I go from downstairs, upstairs, here to the office.
That's great.
But yeah,
I do the same thing, just in reverse. I come downstairs to my office.
Oh, you do? Okay. So someone actually asked me yesterday. They said, "Man, you get to work from home. Isn't that awesome?" I'm like, "It is." And then we got to talking about events. They're like, "What do you like most about going to events?" I'm like, "Getting out of my office." Don't get me wrong. I love what I've built here. But when you're in it every day, day after day after day, it's nice I call it my fishbowl. It's nice to get out of the fishbowl every night, get together with like-minded people. So, we've got about 5-10 minutes left. I'd like to use the time for anything that you have on your heart that you want to share with people, or we can just continue to talk about HighLevel and how you plan to use it. You have the floor, sir.
I think the one thing I would love to share with your listeners is this, working with so many entrepreneurs and leaders over the years, one thing that people do not take into account when they're building their business is the importance of their mindset. Mm-hmm. It's something that we figure out later when we've broken something or we break relationships. Everything that we do begins in our thoughts. It begins in our beliefs. And this is our mindset. Having a healthy mindset affects every part of your life. Mm. And one of the things that I'm trying to communicate these days with the leaders that I work with, the entrepreneurs and the founders that I talk to, is to communicate the importance of making sure you're coming at this from a healthy place mentally, that your mindset is strong and healthy, that you're building something, you're building a pace that is healthy and sustainable. I've watched too many entrepreneurs crash and burn. Mm. And that's not a pattern that you have to have. You don't have to follow that road. There's a different way. And what I can do is help you avoid some of those ditches. Mm-hmm. There's a number of different tools that I make available to help people do that. Last year, I published a book called Catalytic Leadership that has 12 principles in it that are threads that I've seen pretty consistently through the leaders that I've worked with for the last couple decades. And these principles are ones that I believe can help a leader build something that will last, can build in a healthy, sustainable way, where what matters most to you is protected. And that book is available at Amazon and everywhere books are sold. So that's one option. I have a podcast where I interview agency owners, where I interview entrepreneurs and business leaders to try to mine their stories for the nuggets that can help other people avoid the ditches that they drove into.
Yeah.
And I think that's just so helpful. Again, the podcast is Catalytic Leadership Podcast because I try to be consistent with my branding. Sure. You hang out with marketers long enough, you learn about the importance of that.
Yeah.
So, these are things that I do in addition to the one-on-one coaching that I do to help leaders individually with the things that they're struggling with in their own business, in their own lives.
Yeah.
I think every one of us needs that kind of help. I know I do.
I know. And so people see all the good. I say people, oh, you're so lucky you get to work from home. You're so lucky you get it, right? And it's true. Absolutely. Much gratitude for that.
Yeah.
But it does get lonely, right? And
Absolutely.
even my wife, who lives in this house with me, just doesn't quite get, like, she sees that I'm busy, and of course tell her way too much that I'm busy, right? But she doesn't quite get it. And she's beginning to, maybe, but it can be lonely, and it's good to have someone to talk to. And that loneliness, and depending on what you might be going through at work, can definitely pose mental challenges and affect your mindset. So I think you're absolutely, of course you're on point. You're always on point, but yeah, mindset is crucial. Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on today, sharing with our listeners. And I want to, encourage people to go check out the book, Catalytic Leadership, right, on Amazon.
Yeah.
Check out your podcast, Catalytic Leadership Podcast.
Yeah.
We will make sure that there are links below so people can connect with you. Is there any other call to action that you would want to have people follow up or reach out to you or anything like that?
The last one I would say is you can go to catalyticleadership.net. That's my home base. And you can find out about all the things we've talked about, and plus the coaching that I do. And I would be honored to serve any of the entrepreneurs or founders who are ready to take a step toward that healthy, sustainable pace and mindset.
Love it. Okay. Well, you all, I can attest, Dr. William is amazing. So if you feel led to connect with him, absolutely, please do. And Dr. William, thank you so much for joining us today. It is an honor to have you here. And everyone else, we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks, Tara.
Let's see. Stop.